Welcome back to the program. So I know that yesterday's long 2-hour video with Jeffrey Epstein is probably something you're still trying to digest. So I'll try to keep today's segments a little bit on the shorter side so that you can catch up a little bit quicker. Look, we've been saying this for the longest time. I started way back in, I don't know, June maybe of 2025, even earlier than that. And I was trying to warn everybody about this Zoran the Moron, Kami Mandami. And we did everything we could. I did story after story about him. I exposed him. But again, this is New York City, okay? This is the mecca of communism, leftism, illegal aliens, voter fraud, you name it. And he was selected, and there's really nothing we can do about it. But I also said back in July of 2025 that if he is elected, a couple things would happen. Number one, he doesn't have any money. The city is broke, completely broke, which is why he ran to Daddy Trump trying to get on his good side and probably asked him for money. Let's hope President Trump isn't stupid enough to give him any. Okay? The other thing that's important is that I also said that the people are going to realize very, very soon after they elect him that he cannot deliver on what he promised, right? This is what communists always do. And it's not me being intelligent or smart or, visionary. It's looking at history. It's looking at historical context. Every single communist that has ever taken power has done the same thing with the same exact playbook. Nothing changes. Maybe the verbiage, a little bit here and there, but the message is always the same. And what's amazing to me is that with all the media that we have in the United States of America, all the alternative media, all the social media out there, that people still believe in this lie of communism and bullshit. How is this even possible? And again, the only thing you can say is that the people, these young kids that were raised on communism in school and collectivism in school and taught about socialism at a very young age, well, little Bobby and little Sally, you need to share. Everybody's equal. Everybody gets the same amount. You see how it was drilled into the younger generations, into their heads, that socialism is the acceptable norm and capitalism is evil? Well, what do you expect? Do you expect a full generation of capitalists that know what's going on? Of course not. Unless you have really great parents that put their kids in private school or homeschooled them and told them the evils about socialism and communism, and maybe taught history the right way instead of being revisionist history. So look, I could go on a tangent over and over and over. The other thing I said was wait till winter. What did I tell you? I said wait till winter. You know what's going to happen? People are going to be freezing to death. That's what's going to happen. And I said, maybe that's what the people of New York City need. Maybe the people need to feel the pain, the anguish, the desperation, the despair, the depression, the downtrodden, whatever you want to call it, of what communism and collectivism is really about. Maybe they need to feel that in order to, maybe possibly wake up. I mean, it's amazing to me that they haven't. And maybe some have, but not enough. And quite frankly, even the ones that are yelling and screaming in front of his mansion as he's sitting there and he's got his, 3,000 thread count sheets and he's nice and warm and toasty in his New York mansion. And meanwhile, it's 4 degrees outside and people are literally freezing to death. The heat is not even on. The energy bills are skyrocketing in New York City. The rents are out of control, although they're going down. There was a report, 4% decrease in rates in the last 30 days or so. So that's good. But the bottom line is they're freezing to death. There are thousands and thousands of New York City folks that are freezing to death. And who's the cause of that? Obviously Mandani. And of course, New York City being run terribly and mismanaged for decades, other than, of course, Rudy Giuliani, right? So now we have a situation where the garbage is piling up. It is 6 feet high and over a mile long in some areas of downtown Manhattan. It's unbelievable. And so right now, they're not picking up the trash. They're not doing anything for sanitary reasons. And it's because of budget, shortfalls. They don't have the money. They don't have the money. But they do have the money to put out anti-ice brigades in New York City, 30,000 of them, in 10 different languages. They got plenty of money for that, right? They have plenty of money for wanting to control rents. They have plenty of money for wanting to do what else? I don't know, maybe New York City run grocery stores, taking it away from private businesses and private enterprise. We tried to warn you. We tried to warn you. Now you might not even make it. You might freeze to death. You might have, what is New York City? It's like 8 million people. Could you imagine if even 150 or 200,000 people die because of this? And let's not forget this either. What about what happens when the ice goes away and the snow melts and all of a sudden it gets a little warmer and the next thing you know, it's summertime. Look, I grew up in New Jersey. I grew up 22 miles from New York City when you actually could go there and it was actually nice. 22 miles away. Well, you know what? I remember those Jersey summers, okay? I remember taking a shower in July, getting ready to go out for dinner or go out with my friends, whatever, and I'd walk outside and 3 minutes later I'm soaking wet because you got 100% humidity on the East Coast. So let's think about that for a second. 100% humidity in June, July in New York City. Do you think maybe the rats are going to completely overpopulate the city even worse than it already is? That's what's going to happen. And guess what they're going to be snacking on? 6 feet tall mounds of New York City's finest trash. Mwah! Yum to the rats. And what does that do? Well, I don't know. What did Gene Hackman and his wife die of? Anybody remember? Hantavirus. What do you think rats in New York City in unsanitary situations snacking on garbage are going to spread to the people of New York City? That's right. Diseases. Hantavirus. Okay? So the people that don't freeze to death in New York City this winter, well, guess what? If you don't clean up that trash and you don't clean up this city and you let it look like Paris and other left-wing shitholes, guess what's going to happen? Millions of people are going to die from hantavirus and other infectious diseases because this is what third world shitholes do, okay? And the sad reality is it's in the biggest city, population-wise, the most powerful city, the Mecca, which I shouldn't even use that word because now there's a Muslim running it, but the Mecca of the United States, the financial capital of the entire world, not just the United States. And now it's going to look like a war zone. This is bad. This is really, really bad. It's so bad. And again, they're also doing the anti-Semitism. Listen to this report that we got right here. Senate is launching a serious investigation into Mondami and the administration that he's running. Why? Well, mainly because he has decided to take a hard left, anti-Israel, anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish turn that we all knew he was going to do, but yet these stupid New York Jews still went out and voted for him, especially the women. Unbelievable. So here's what he has done. He has reversed executive orders that made it so that college students in New York City at the city colleges, NYU, Columbia, whatever, were not going to be subjected to anti-Semitism like they were with the Palestinians and the movements and the protests and even all the bullshit that we saw, even the professors screaming at the top of their lungs, river, river to the sea, all this other crazy stuff, the intifadas coming to America. That's not freedom of speech. That's treason. And it should have been, handled that way, but of course it wasn't. So here is the latest. The Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, quote, has serious concerns about the rescission of executive orders related to anti-Semitism and boycotts of Israel, according to the New York Post. Mandami has rescinded all of these different orders. Let's see right here. This is from Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. He wants assurances that the revocations will not impact enforcement of civil rights law. Oh, really, Bill, you rhino piece of garbage? Really? That's what you want? A finely worded letter? How about sending in the cavalry into New York and dragging this jihadist piece of shit out by his throat? That would be more appropriate. So let's see. They're saying that if you don't comply with these anti-Semitic, executive orders, that we're going to cut off $2.2 billion in federal funding for the city of New York. Well, you're already broke. You got people starving. You got people freezing. You got people with rats and garbage everywhere. Murder out of control. I mean, what's another 2.2 that you're not going to get, right? Anti-Semitism is not an abstract concern in New York City. It is a livid reality for millions of students and residents, and it requires a very serious response, he wrote. Decisions by your administration that weaken established safeguards for Jewish students in New York and are out of alignment with federal executive orders warrant careful scrutiny. Jewish students deserve clear assurances that their safety and their civil rights will not be compromised by your administration's actions. Let's also not forget that crazy bitch that he hired that basically said that she doesn't believe in property ownership. I mean, this is some serious stuff. I told you, this is the DSA. This is the Democratic Socialists of America, which are not socialists. They are communists, and they want to take over. And so I tried to warn people. I'm putting it out there now. This video needs to go out to as many people as possible. And quite frankly, I need you folks to recruit people to come here to get the truth, okay? I'm not growing nearly as quick as I would like. So please talk to your friends, your family, strangers on fucking line at a restaurant. I don't care. If you see something, if they say something, butt into their conversation. Oh, that's not true. That's not how it is. You need to figure out the truth. Let me show you where you can learn the truth from someone. Okay? And spread the information. Give them a free Substack membership, for 7 days or whatever. You have a Substack account. You can give them out for free. Hey, check this out. You got to check out this guy. Whatever. We need to wake people up. Okay? My voice is muted because of the censorship. So the only way that it's going to get bigger is from all of you. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this. And also the fact that he has now said, he literally said this today, okay, that he thinks that Islam should be the guide for immigration. I shit you not. He said that today. Imagine that. This is bad. This is bad. This is a guy who was palling around, I'll use Sarah Palin's words years ago, with terrorists when she was talking about Barack Obama. This guy is 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 times worse than Barack Hussein Obama ever could have dreamed of being, okay? This is the most radical person ever put into any position of power in the United States, hands down. And because he dresses nice and he's got a nice smile, he is the devil, okay? He is the devil. Ted Bundy, he dressed nice. He had a nice smile. Guess what? He was the devil. This guy is the absolute devil. And he needs to be removed. I don't understand. Denaturalization, deportation. He should have never, ever, ever been allowed to take office. Not at all. Not for 1 second. But you know what? Hey, I can't control that. All I can tell you is what's going on, give you the truth, and whatever happens from that point on happens. But with more people being aware of this, and again, I think that the people are turning on him already. So I don't think he's even going to make it to the end of his term. I doubt it at this point. I mean, when you have, people in 3 degrees, 0 degree weather screaming at the top of their lungs outside of his mansion, calling him out, shaming him and everything else. What's it been, a month? I don't know, 2 months? No, it's been about a month, right? January 3rd or 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever, somewhere around the beginning of January. That's when they swore him in on the fucking Quran as well. It didn't last long. I guess that's the silver lining or the positive of this big ranted 15-minute whatever diatribe I'm doing here. Anyway, share it. I'll make sure it's not behind the paywall. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.